go along because I'll tolerate it, but I'd much rather go to the wilderness and go hiking or camping. And she tells a story that after she stole us back from my grandmother, went to Arizona with my dad, middle of the night, pulled us out of our room, put us in a car. Literally, we just drove to California, and then I guess she started from Los Angeles and just kept on going up the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to Santa Cruz, and she says that when I got to Santa Cruz the next day, I said, "Yep, this is it. This is where I'm spending the rest of my life." And that is where she spent the rest of her life. She knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we tried to convince her sometimes to move closer in some other ways that would be more convenient for various reasons, she refused to leave Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Up until her last dying days, I found a place for her up in Santa Rosa, and I got them to accept her, and when it came right down to it, she wouldn't move.
Yeah. So she was good. She was good to her word for that. Yeah, there was a period when we didn't talk for about 8 years. We reconnected, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years ago? I just can't imagine what it would have been like had she gone through what she went through in the last year if I hadn't been there.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, some of the other folks in this room were there, like in Santa Cruz, like there in the middle of the night when I wasn't there in the middle of the night. And like some people in this room, we get calls at 3 a.m. I need you now. And because I lived in Merced, she knew she could call me and say, I need you right now, like in 10 minutes. And so there were definitely several people in this room that had to put up with that. And very thankful for that. She suffered a lot in the last year. And I didn't realize until the doctor told me quite how serious her condition was towards the end, how much suffering she had gone through in the previous year. So.
Thank you, Alan.
And just wanted to say, I know that she was in a state where she was in so much pain and desperate. She did lash out a lot. She lashed out at me. She lashed out at several others in this room as well. She definitely, it was not her best moments, but it's understandable given where she was, like the state that she was in. I didn't get it quite how severe it was until the very end.
Megan's on her way down there.
Is that Henry?
Megan's going around the outside.
Is someone just knock? Is that Henry? Megan? Where's Megan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's these spiral staircases, but Megan's saying if you go that way, you could go up
Wrong
much
address.
easier.
Wrong party.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong
Okay.
party?
No, it's Henry.
Henry, okay.
No, it's
I was
the right
letting him
place.
know to go the other way.
It's
Megan
on the
thought
park-
he wouldn't like these stairs.
Park over there.
I didn't tell him about that, but Megan was talking to me, so I'm sure.
Slight pause here, folks. So we used to have these rituals every solstice. I swear it was like, for me as a kid, it was like, oh my God, when's it gonna be over? I just want to eat and have fun.
Hours long.
It
Maybe
was
4
like they went
hours.
on forever. They
Yeah.
went on forever. You know, she's like, you get to me and I'd like have to make. I'm like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? What am I gonna make up? How am I gonna get out of this? Then you finally come up with something that sounds possible, and then as you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. Well, all I really wished for was just to get back to playing and eating. I go to to church with my wife and daughter from time to time. I have the same still antsiness where we're sitting there and I'm just like, I can't look at the time. I can't even look at my watch. You're just not supposed to.
Yeah.
But I cannot sit still. Yeah. So that was my mom, and she was very complicated. She was very, very, very complicated. All right.
You light the candle behind
So
you.
I think
Oh,
in
yeah.
order to honor her, we need to like is get back to the wilderness and go do some camping, go do some hiking. I can't give up my data when we do it, but I can give up everything else.
Everything?
Well, you know.
Temporarily. Whoops.
Alright, do I need to light this?
Yes. On the camera.
Why?
Careful, don't fall off that.
If that's for me, I'm not here.
Yeah, let's see if it goes out when I do that. Nope, there we go.
Yep.
Just maybe put it back on the for everything.
Definitely can't fan the
Megan,
flames
where
right
do
now.
our candles have to be lighted?
Just on the altar. Is it not lighting?
Did it go out?
It's fine.
It's an interesting idea.
Oh, I put it on the altar.
Yeah.
I thought it was the alternate plan.
Thanks, Alan, that was great.
Alright.
Okay.
So, as
Where's the
Megan
number?
already
You already-
announced,
yeah. Contemporary. That's great.
Megan and Alan were like my brother and sister, really, and Megan was, and Melinda was, like my other mother, and, we were pretty poor growing up, my sister and I, and Melinda would buy me new clothes, which was something really special for me, and she would, take me out to eat, which is not something that I ever got to do at all. And it was wonderful, we'd go on these little adventures all the time. Whether she was taking us up the coast because we had to have the lemon meringue from Half Moon Bay, or some other delightful journey that really wouldn't have been a part of my world. And she brought me a lot of joy, and Megan would also come to my house and find her own refuge in her own ways there. And Alan and I would play and fight just like brother and sister, and I spent many of my days there, and Melinda had a huge influence on my life, and in a lot of ways, you know, I became a teacher, and I find that I'm often attracted to those kids that need a little extra help, and a lot of times I think back to Melinda and how she gave me that little extra bit, and for sure introducing ritual into my life was huge. My mom would go to some rituals, but it wasn't the extent that Melinda would have them regularly, and it was a regular part of our life. And like Alan said, take us into nature, and you know, we build stick forts or whatever it was. But Melinda meant a lot. She still means a lot to me, and Megan and Alan as well. They were my other parts of my family. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Erin.
Should we say as you wish it, so shall it be after
I
everyone?
mean, we might as well.
Yeah.
As you wish it, so shall it be.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. And maybe we could at the very end just make some little teeny wish, you know. There's this bee is love us.
I'm gonna make a really corny wish, but it's genuine.
Awesome.
World peace. Can we achieve that?
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. Okay, come on, shy people. I think he needs a candle.
I got this all prepared. Actually, I don't. This is, first of all, this is not fair. We could go on for hours.
It is not fair.
He's like, how long do you have this place until?
Yeah,
And yet we can't.
a week or what, yeah.
Force of nature,
Mm.
our dearest friend of all. This was not supposed to happen. She was going to live forever.
She might still.
Well, she is here among us this morning. How could she be anywhere else on an occasion like this? Thanks to Mariah, I became involved. I don't remember the way exactly. I'm late to the show, but I became like front and center because I actually picture dear Melinda in the passenger seat of her own car. Not just, there was no other reason. She's out of the car when she didn't need a car. But she had, when she was getting her eyes taken care of, what are called cataracts. I got somehow selected to be the driver. She drove with me enough to see, okay, this is safe. I didn't drive fast enough. But I was concentrating on keeping the road in front of the car and pay attention to what was going on. Favorite occasion? Impossible once again. But the trip to Palo Alto to get yet another in a series of the finest massage tables ever made.
Oh!
Yep.
How many
Because
massage tables did I pick
She was
up?
on it.
Yeah.
That massage table would barely hit the internet before she was on the phone, right? And we had to go get it, like right away. Like yesterday would have been a little late. So we're driving up, and if you've been in the car with me, there are very few other mortals that do not use the radio, which comes in equipped in the cars. Generally, and they work. But you wouldn't know it because we are paying attention to driving. Her and by extension you. But in this case, we were on, one up probably over, I don't know if we went to Half Moon Bay. We did a couple of things up and down the coast, and my memory is just not quite what it used to be in. But I remember this was the occasion that she said, let's listen to a tape. Favorite folk singers.
Who was it?
Hmm?
Who was it?
Here goes the memory part.
Holly Near, Pete
She's
Seeger.
asking so we can put it on next.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay,
I don't know how I-
perfect.
And then we were singing. And I knew the songs.
Mm.
Because I have a folky background way back. I mean, Melinda and I connected, and me more than her. I don't think she didn't really need me. It was a very important part of the show. I have a series of teachers in life. That's the age of development, where I have family, I have friends, but then you have teachers. And teachers are different. And so Melinda was one of my teachers. And so part of it was about getting taken at any moment into the awesome presence of someone who has, forward and backward got you figured out beyond what you will ever get around to in this lifetime. And to be, and then get upgraded for something that you could have fixed, and there was even an inkling, maybe you could have not done it that way, you should have done it that way, but you got caught.
That's true, isn't it?
And so happiness was part of it, but sadness was part of it, and a certain amount of pain to be in the presence of someone so empowered, so powerful. How many people have you met in your life that you can see they're in pain, and you commiserate by saying, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? And she would go, it's just pain. Huh? What? We drove up and we sang songs up and down the coast. It was on the coast highway, of course, because we had to stop, of course, for coffee along the way. That place you drive in from the coast is, we didn't even know it was there, but it's sure enough, it's a coffee house unknown to everyone else on the planet. It's some little barn that sells coffee on a regular basis, and we had to stop there. And getting tanked up on coffee was something that was not on my agenda usually. But I kind of got used to it, and then occasionally I would say, Melinda, how long was it since? I don't think so. And she'd go, all right. Okay, fine. No, that's all right. I mean, she didn't go through all that, but that was the feeling. It was like, okay, you don't want coffee. there's something wrong with you. Fine, I understand that. She was right. So we went all the way, mostly there. We're coming down the hill on 280, I think it's called, and you cut down into off, and we had the address and where we were going. And we get very close to there, and somewhere along the way, I get a text or something on my phone. Now, if you've been in the car with Melinda, you know that it's a phone booth as well. There will be phone calls incoming and outgoing on a regular basis, and you will be required to send messages and do text or whatever is necessary, because you're sitting in the seat or anywhere in the car will be close enough. And so you do all these things.
Just by the way, I'm not like that at all.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
What? What do you think? I didn't hear it.
I said I'm not like that at all.
Good to know.
Yes.
Is that sarcastic or?
Yes, ma'am.
So for a change, I took the call. I don't usually. I'm like, no, I can't do this now. Well, Melinda never said I couldn't, so I take the call, and I'm talking on the phone. Well, I'm talking on the phone while there's this critical moment in the process of actually transforming this address and a massage table and the possibility of this transaction into an actual occurrence, where we have to get to the actual address and meet somebody. And we go by where we should have turned off. And I hang up and I'm done. And she's like, so where are we going? Where are we supposed to turn off? You're supposed to be watching. And I realized what happened. And I go, well, we have to turn around and go back because the exit was the one back there. But it's close by. I see the map and, Palo Alto is a simple kind of place. And she goes, it was your job to watch. You were on the phone. You're working for me. At this point, there's something overdoing it. The flip side of why I'm the student and she's the teacher is that my job is to figure out the easiest way to get through this kind of thing. And so I'm like, backpedaling. If you can backpedal from the passenger seat of a car, you can't really, so you're just stuck there. Okay. This is going to go on. How long is it, in my mind, it's been a couple of years already, so how long? This could go on for days. This is the beginning, but not the end of this. And then we pull off the next exit, and the car is turning around. And I'm like, we just need to go back and we'll pick up the trail. She goes, no, we're going to be late. It's over. We have traveled numerous miles. We had a good time. We were in Palo Alto, near the campus there. And she's waiting for us to show up to buy the table. And I'm like, she's like, no, go home. So anyway, the story that is both good and bad. We sang all the way home. Got over it. 20 miles went by, and 10 miles, and everything was okay again. And we sang and had a great time. But just to give you a slice of several slices of the pie.
Sweet Jim, do you have a candle? Jim, do you have a candle?
And Jim,
Do you need a candle or do you have one?
and Jim,
Okay.
I don't know if you realize this, but the reason she turned around was not because you guys missed the exit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why was
She
it?
turned around because she didn't want to buy it after all. Had nothing
That's
to do
what
with
I
you.
was thinking.
It had nothing to do with you at all.
Just so you know.
I will actually be able to sleep tonight.
First time in years.
Awesome. Okay, do you have a quick, Jim, do you have a quick wish? Do you have a- Oh, now we're gonna do candle wax everywhere. Okay. Okay.
It's contained so far.
So come on up, it's easy. It's fun. This is such a room. And such a crew. It's fun. Try not to step in the mess of me.
I mean, won't the owner of the house be happy we waxed the floor for her?
And we say,
Ice cube, babe.
as
Ice
you
cube.
wish it,
So
so
shall it be.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Should I do the wax later?
Yes. It'll be easier once it's completely
I
solidified.
was gonna use an ice cube.
I can do it now.
Just put the whole ice tray on it for a minute.
Alright, who's next?
It'll come right up. I I made bigger messes.
Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss this.
Is it okay to start even though they're?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Melinda was also like a second mom to me. Many of the things that I know now and many of the places that I have gone to are because she took us there as a little adventure, and she was always up to date on the cool new, the little coffee shops and the cool new paninis and all of that super yummy food. And I have so many memories with her. It's really hard to choose one. I'm gonna try not to cry, but my favorite memory of her is cooking in the Ben Lomond house.
Oh, yeah,
That
that house
place.
is so good.
That was an awesome house.
Mm-hmm.
I remember how patient she was with all of us, and I had never met a person like her that was just, the recipe came out, and she's like, oh, you guys get everything together. We're like, how do we do it? And she's like, however you want to, babes.
Yep. Yeah.
She said, however you want, if you want to put in the eggs first, if you want to put in the flour first, whatever you want to do, you guys do it however you want. She's like, there's no wrong way you can do it. And I remember we would just go to the store and buy like $200 worth of groceries and get home. She's like, we have a few hours before the guests get here, let's get to it. And I remember making so many dinner parties at her house, and I feel like at the Ben Lomond house it was like an adventure house. It was a huge, big, magical witch house with so many doors, and how she would call it, like the Harry Potter closet and the butterfly house. She just brought out this side of me that I didn't know I had, this huge, magical, mysterious, beautiful, mindfulness, creativity area that I didn't know was real. But she taught me that that is real, and I carry that along with me everywhere I go. And meeting her at the Ben Lomond house was the start of like a whole new chapter in my life that I will forever have with me and that I will pass along. And
How old were you then, Marilyn?
I think I was 13.
Mm.
I think I was 13.
So 15 years.
Yeah. And not only, and I think one of the biggest parties that we had there was a solstice party, and I just remember it was just like 4 of us and whipping everything up and making this huge fabulous dinner party for everyone, and it didn't stop there. Like, we always did it, and it was just so amazing. And she was also like a teacher to me, and I love Melinda so much because I believe that I'm still here because of her, and I thank her so much for all of the things that she taught me about life and about people and about like your instincts, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what you feel in your instincts, that's what you need to listen to, and to believe in yourself. And that's just what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Mary Lou, I remember when you were taking care of Melinda and I came down to visit, and you put on such a brave face for her. And you were in there taking care of her, and you put on such a brave face. And then you came out and you just started crying, but you waited till you came out of the room because you were showing her a brave face. And I just have so much admiration for you. You were so amazing.
I went through a period of a time where we didn't speak.
Join the club.
Literally join the club.
Yeah. We went through I think it was 3 years where we didn't talk, and I think every year I thought of when I was gonna call her again. And I remember I thought like this is the day, and I still had her phone number in my phone. I never deleted it. I still have it in my phone. And I finally called her from outside of my mom's house. My heart was racing because I was scared of her telling me, no, I don't want you in my life. But I called her up and I asked, I had like a voice like a little bit shaky, and she answered the phone and she was like, hello. And I was like, hi Melinda, it's me, Mary Lou. How are you? She's like, everything's good. Like so straightforward, like she didn't kind of like care. And then I said, I just wanted to let you know that that I miss you, and I'm hoping that maybe we can catch back up, and I would love to meet up with you or help you for anything. And she said, yeah. She said, no problem. Like no problem. And I'm so thankful that I called her that day, because I knew that I had a purpose in being in her life. I knew that if I wouldn't have called her, I would have not felt right. And I knew there was a purpose, and I just followed it. And I knew that I wanted to be there for her as much as I could. From that day on, it was before I was pregnant with Autumn, and after that day, I think it was 4 years after that phone call that I was in her life, the rest of her life. So I'm really thankful for that, and a wish that I would like to say is I wish her to be surrounded by lots of love, and her mama, and her dad, and that she's flying like the angel that she always wanted to be, and the angel that she knew that the way she wanted to be looked at, and the way she wanted others to see her and appreciate her. I love you, Melinda, and I think about you every single day.
Thank you, Mary Lou. As you wish
it,
so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Well, I better go next while I can still talk, because I'm really overcome right now. Okay, so I will try to be as quick as possible. And when the earthquake hit in 1989, and my wonderful Mia was just not even a year old, because her birthday is April, and we moved here. So we knew Julie Sherman first, is I think how it went. I don't know. Oh, within a Jewish group that really hardly exists anymore, Kalenu. And we would go to gatherings with Melinda. And she would work as a lawyer with my husband, who was a lawyer. They would be preparing briefs with each other, and I never had any idea that was all going on. It's kind of like we've had separate lifetimes with Melinda in different years, different people, different reasons. And first of all, she got me so many fantastic clothes, the best clothes. This is some designer, very soft black jacket. And I mouthed off to me and I said, I already have 4 black jackets. This is the only one I want to wear, it's so soft. So I was going to wear many other things. I kept going through my closet. And she would say, I've got the perfect right thing for you. You have to come, let me come over right away. You know, so this long plum colored, like a coat, that was, I think, the most beautiful thing that I got from her. So she really wanted to manage what car I drove. When we started driving the dark gray Yaris that you know well, Alan, she said, oh, with your red hair, you're going to look great against that color of the car, you know? I have sad things to say. I'm a rape survivor. My husband was murdered by a law client. And Melinda standing by us every day, every year, about this hell that was going on. She wanted to take my dissertation from USC about long-term effects of rape on couples from 1986. Lately I thought I should have done this with her. She was going to write it into a book with me. She said she could ghost write it. She doesn't even care if her name is on it. It should be out there. There's 356 pages. So she just affirmed the good in all of us, and the unusual parts and the special parts, and no one else will ever be like her. And I know most of you in here. I just love all of you. I'm so thrilled to be with you again. And Henry, I've called you 100 times, but I never had the right timing, so it's good to meet you, finally to meet you. And Jim would be and Mary Lou would be part of me going to Target and always getting the wrong pads for her. Whatever. No, it's not this, no, it's not big enough.
You
no,
too,
it's-
huh?
Oh my God. When I drive by where she lived at St. Stephen's by the medical clinic there, I get a fear in my heart. What did I do wrong? This is all like, wait, am I bringing her in? She's not there anymore. But it was a permanent effect on me. I just feel like she was one of the most unique people that any of us could ever know. She was like 3 people in one body.
Yes.
6. 3 to 6. Wonderful. Hanukkah gatherings.
Eileen.
Wonderful solstice gatherings. Greeting the new year in her own special way, and that everything is possible. All we have to do is envision it and make it happen. And that's how I am as a therapist and person too, as much as possible. So she's had a huge impact on my life, and I really feel she's here. I'm getting the chills I get when I feel that. And like when we went through a lot of hell many years ago, she wanted to do some type, Mia can remind me, of an imagery about metal around our whole house that was aiming outside, which meant nobody could enter without our agreement. And it made me feel safe after all the hell we were going through, So I really don't think I, as a human being, would have made it to this moment. And, we were sisters in every way. We both had PhDs. She was a lawyer like my husband. Everything that ever had anything to do with our lives, Mia and my daughter Jenna, and I want to mention supporting health with organic produce. I was supposed to be some big shot for that. I don't remember what my role was. I was the president of it or something. You have to come. I think you're the president of it. I'm the president, but Maine. And also she could go off my PhD and get us into past certain doors. And it was just like such an exchange of energy, positive direction. Somebody said Holly Meir. We went 2 or 3 times, one time with Matt. To see Holly Meir, and I had seen her in LA. I loved Holly Meir. Like anything, any issue, any person, any music, any whatever, she was part of it, and I had been part of it before, and then I was even more of a part of it after knowing her part of it. It was just kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, and they were all falling into place. So I honor and admire who she was. I think someone said a force of nature. She was like beyond a human being. I want to mention Ellen Earth. This was a typical Melinda thing. She was her old friend, and suddenly she wanted to take a bus. Somehow she heard that Melinda wasn't doing well, but she didn't know everything. Came up to Santa Cruz. They went for a meal, and in a flurry of activity, it became known that we have to put her in our house so that Melinda could get a break from. She didn't have energy to say 500 things on one day, because Ellen wanted to know everything. What happened to you in this year and that year? And so, did I say that wrong?
Yeah.
What happened?
She was very sick at the time. They didn't go out to eat. She didn't want her to be like watching over her, so she kind of fended her off on us, and it like ruined her Valentine's Day.
I was there.
It's
I
like-
was there for a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But who could say no to her? It could have been 5 people she would have said have to stay at my house, our house. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. In a way, I felt like I should salute her. Yes, ma'am. I'm going that way. Just like you had talked about. Like maybe the wrong thing. It's okay if we didn't get whatever we set out for. That it would end up being a beautiful situation anyway, even if it wasn't what was planned. So I think that's a lot of my life with Melinda. Now I'll do this. I sort of feel like she's not gone. That's what I'm trying to say. But she'll never really be gone. And she was upset with me for having so many therapy clients that I couldn't go with her for coffee enough. Speaking of coffee. Well, we have to go right now. I said, I have 3 sessions in a row. Oh, damn it. I'm not going there. If you can't go, I'm not going either. Years. Many years later. And we went at times, but not as much as she went. Okay,
That's okay. You didn't make a wish yet, that's why.
Oh, what do I do now?
So you just pull it back out, get a little wax on yourself. There you go.
That was smart. I say the wish before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My wish is for beautiful Melinda and all of her beautiful energy and creativity and brilliance and goal setting and reaching, that we should all have a bit of that throughout the rest of our lives. That's my wish. Through her.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Did you get? As you guys make your wish, please take a bookmark. What color's your favorite?
Who is next?
What do you think? There's two different colors. There's that one and the light.
I just want to say a few words.
Yes.
We were all very fortunate to have known Melinda. And all I can say is that if we take from her her generosity, her compassion, and her love for life, that we will all remember her till our time comes.
Hmm.
And
Do you have a favorite memory, Henry?
I have many.
Do you have one that stands out?
I think it's when she lived on Redwood,
Mm.
and she was constantly calling me for help.
Who, Melinda?
And I could not refuse, you know, I could not refuse, because I knew what she was doing, and I pray every morning that my Creator allows me to be around people that are helping people. And we should all take that and live our lives that way.
Awesome.
Yes.
That sounds like a wish right there.
It is a wish.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was so into her that I was just going to go on and on.
As you wish it shall it be.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, you know, we
Mary.
didn't know anyone was looking. I'll come in and help on something. I have
All right.
to-
So glad you brought our Mary Lou.
She also gave me one of these that was perfect.
Oh.
I still have it on my dresser.
Mm. It's a heart rock.
A beautiful shape.
Mm.
Take care, good to meet you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's nice to be here.
Thank you, Henry.
You too.
Henry, would you like a bookmark before you go?
Did you get a bookmark?
Would you like one of these bookmarks?
Yes,
With the
please.
photo of Melinda.
A little memento.
It's a little memento.
Thank you.
There's a selection of colors.
Thank you for that.
I'll take her.
Thank you, Henry.
Have a good evening now.
You too.
I'm super grateful that I met Melinda through a mutual friend in 6th grade. She showed me a lot of places that I would have probably never gone if I didn't know her, from garage sales at 6 in the morning, finding from Craigslist. She would always find the perfect things. I try to go to them now and can't find anything.
Was that Anathea?
Yeah, I met her through Anathea. I've always loved driving up the coast with her. But one of the favorite things that we would always do is whenever there was a full moon, we would chase it, as she would say. We would chase it, and we would always have to stop to get a donut, a bear claw first, and then we would go find the highest place, or where you could see it clear. If it wasn't good enough, she's like, we have to go another spot. We'd turn around and go find it somewhere else. And it was always in her Volvo. Yeah, I'm super grateful that I met her, and every time I see a full moon or something, I'm like, I remember when Melinda took us here, and I love her, and my wish is that she's happy and she knows that we all love her, and super thankful for her.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. It's not lit though.
It's
not good.
Is it good? It has to, I feel like it needs to be lit.
Everyone's turning.
It's okay.
You're dropping it in too fast.
Excuse me. Thanks for bringing
There you
her.
go.
Yeah?
Big addition.
Oh.
Yes, I'm so glad you meet her and he listened to her. Yeah.
Well, and you can see in the ritual like how Melinda like, you know, sort of like helped shape and mold us as fairly young people, just seeing how excited she is about this and calm and yeah. Oh, Eileen.
Lifetimes, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to even remember when we started. I've been here since '73, and I know that I even think that I met her first through David, my son, who she knew, and then Ed, Vicky, and then she knew these musicians that I knew and was supporting them, and just all the wonderful things that Melinda has done. I mean, hearing all of you, I watched how she took care of so much and from her heart and helped so many who needed help. And it was always from her heart, and her love of sharing, cooking, everything, and her clothes. It was, oh, I have this for you, and here's this, and and she was so supportive of my art, and it was just, yeah, it was pretty special. Counseling, her acupuncture treatments were just magical. Oh my gosh. She was a true healer and magician, and just she was a guide for so many people, and I just am so grateful that she's in my life, and I wanted to just I wish that we will meet in another life and the next however millions of years that we're all going to be here, because I don't think we ever go away. And I just hope that she is embraced by the beauty and caring that she did for so many people. Yeah, and sometimes she would disappear, and I would think, where's Melinda? And she would say, well, I'm gonna go off and I won't see you again. But then I'd run into her at Trader Joe's. And then it would all start all over again. And then, you know, it was like, oh, this is the next chapter. And then that would happen. So it was mysterious and complicated. And I know that my son, Ed, Dickey too, he couldn't come today, but David Long, he lives in Seattle now, but I know he loved Melinda, and she helped him a lot too, so. Anyway, I know he even, I think, babysat for you guys sometimes, you know, so. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, anyway, it's wonderful to be with all of you together. I didn't have any idea. I thought, well, I don't know any of those people, but I know all of you. So I'm really grateful to be here and share this time. Thanks.
As you wish it, so shall it be.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
So, this is probably the first time meeting a lot of you, but I got to know Melinda when I was 16 years old. I met Melinda through Mary Lou and Veronica.
What's your name?
My name is Laura. I have two really good memories with Melinda. The first one is I didn't know who Sarah, and I might butcher her last name, McLaughlin, was until I heard Arms of the Angel in her car, and it was when she had, I think it was a Yaris at this point. And I just remember, I heard the song for the first time and I thought it was really neat. And I had her play it over and over and over again as we ran around town or drove around town running errands with her. And she never got sick of it. when I tell her again, and I think I was in the car with either Veronica or Mary Lou, but I just remembered we were encouraging her to play it again, and it was like full volume and just blasting music all throughout town. But and ever since then, like that song always meant a lot to me, just because I feel that now, like it's like some parts of me and in the career that I do, I feel like I am in her arms sometimes. She's a huge mentor for me. She definitely showed me the world. She opened up my eyes to a lot of different beliefs, different perspectives on life, and ultimately it just made me a better person, and it just brought me down to earth more. I connect with people better. And another really good memory that I have with her is making pizza from the Trader Joe's dough that you can buy. I still do it today, and I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't met her, as well as other spots in Santa Cruz, like the coffee shops and bagels.
What's your career?
I was going to ask. I'm in law enforcement. I'm a deputy with the sheriff's office.
Yay.
Awesome.
So she always, her lawyer side and her kind of go-getter side is something that I always aspired to be, and I think that really helped me gain the confidence to where I'm at now. And I think like for her it was like the sky's the limit, and that was something that she inflicted on me, and I feel like I still carry that with me a lot. I think that's one of the reasons why we got along, is because we saw that, that law enforcement side of the world a little bit, just like the justice side to things. And I guess my wish is that I wish Melinda peace, and I wish that she's stronger now, and I wish that she continues to support us in many ways. Even though she's not physically with us, I know she's still around us. And just by chance, Day of the Dead was November 2nd, and for some reason, I'm really in tune with my spiritual self just because of Melinda. But I drank with her and had a dream with her, and I just wanted to share that with you guys and let you guys know she's definitely still around. Thank you for having me.
You wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. Mariah. Hi. Oh, it looks like you're off the hot seat.
I just want to share a good day that I had with Melinda. She was going to pick up my brother Jorge to go up to San Francisco to pick up a massage table. She didn't know it was my birthday. But once I told her, she told me to come along with them. And we stopped at Half Moon Bay for dessert and coffee. And then we went up there, and then she took me to this restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and then of course we had balsamic vinegar, olive oil with the bread. And then I had probably one of the best paninis I've ever had, the salmon panini there. And I just appreciate having gotten to know her, and she helped me see a different way of going about certain problems, and just, I don't know, it still helps me today, when I'm dealing with something. I think, how would Melinda go about it? And I appreciate all the community dinners we had. She got us all involved, from going out, getting the produce and everything, helping her cook, setting up everything, and then just having a nice warm night. And
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
One of my favorite memories of Melinda, I have like 2 or 3. We made bone broth soup all the time, from getting lamb bones from Shopper's Corner, and we would sit at her stove at the house in Savannah, and we would sit there for hours and hours, just like tasting and changing the flavor profiles, and just continuously making this soup. And we made things like this all the time. And there was never like a recipe. It was just like, these are the baseline things that you have, and from that, like with care and intention and like seeing it for what it is, and like tasting it throughout its journey, creating this thing that would feed like everyone in this room at one point or another throughout the week. And this is hard to say, but I would be lying if I said that my relationship with Melinda was positive all the time. I had a lot of fear of her, and there was a lot of stuff that was bad in our relationship, and I was I had some really hard times like in my relationship with her, but I'm also very grateful for everything that she taught me, and she was there for me through some of like the darkest parts of my childhood, and in ways that I can't imagine any other like normal human being. One time I was like 11 or 12, and I had gotten kicked out of the house that I was staying in, and it was really, really difficult for me to like manage being a person. And I remember calling her in the driveway of my mom's house and telling her what had happened, and she came to pick me up like immediately. And we went over to her house and sat in her kitchen, and she just held me. And I remember like crying in her arms, and like it felt like everything was going to be okay, because Melinda was such a fierce human that nothing in the world could have gotten past her. And so I had a complicated, hard, beautiful relationship with Melinda, and I think that my wish for everyone is to take care of yourselves so that you can take care of others, or just so that you can take care of yourselves. You all are amazing, beautiful people, and you deserve to be like cherished and loved in your own right. So, you know, don't forget to put on your oxygen mask first, and like be kind to yourself.
So shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Alright, so it's interesting hearing Alan say like complicated relationship, and it's kind of like what Mariah was saying was, you know, there was so much good, and it definitely outweighs the hard, but it was, there were many years I didn't speak to my mom as well, I think we've all had that sort of up and down relationship with her. But ultimately, she was so incredibly powerful that she just brought us back, you know. And she did have, her bottom line was compassion, and, you know, she was generous and she was loving and kind, but there was just some confusion in there. And so it didn't always come across that way. And as I have grown into, I wouldn't say the young woman I am, but realizing that I'm over 50 now, you know, I guess just the woman I am. It's been a hard, long journey, but I feel like the biggest thing she gave me is resilience to like rise above everything else. And it's interesting hearing Jim when he got here and we were talking. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said us all being here together, like we're able to be us together instead of who we were to Melinda, because that was separate than who we are as ourselves necessarily and who we are as a group. We didn't often interact much at the same time with each other, but we all had such an interesting, deep, meaningful, sometimes traumatic, you know, experience with her. And I just want to like thank every single one of you here for being a part of her life and for especially helping her at the end, because I was going through my own health issues and I wasn't able to be here for her as much as I would like to, and knowing that you were all here was great. And you never think that someone's gonna like just, you're gonna wake up and they're not gonna be there the next day. Like you don't think that. It just felt like she was always gonna be here. And then one day, it was a Thursday night, it was 8 o'clock and she was gone. And it actually hit me harder than I thought it would, because I had to somewhat emotionally disconnect from her to be who I needed to be for me. And it was a long, hard road, but I am glad she was my mom, because I wouldn't be me, and I really like me. So anyway, thank you all for being here. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you for pulling it together.
Yeah. And I just wish that Melinda is free from, you know, her constraints of living in this world. I don't think she was meant to necessarily like, I feel like she came from a different planet and that she had to live within these constraints of this world, and I think it was hard on her. And I'm just hopeful that she's finally free and that we will all eventually find our own freedom.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Well, I don't know if many of you knew me, but I have heard of all of you, especially the young people that would come into Melinda's life. When I did have time, have opportunity to be in the same space with Melinda, she would share lots of stories with me about things that happened and people that came into her life, and I was always awed by her ability to connect with a young person who needed her in their lives. But the more I got to know Melinda, well, let me preface that with, she may have spoken with some of you, but we sometimes had a difficult relationship. I think part of that is because we were a lot more alike than I think either of us ever realized. But I think the biggest thing was that Melinda became a part of my life when I was already an adult. and I came from a fairly stable, we all have our issues, family with parents that loved me and who were there for me, and I didn't need Melinda. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that was a crux, because I know I probably came across in that way to her, that I had a very strong spirituality of my own, and I didn't need something from Melinda, except I needed her son.
Yeah, that was important thing.
in my life, and I think that was the hardest thing for her to accept. And so I always craved having an idyllic relationship someday with a mother-in-law. And I always grieved that I knew I was never going to have that with Melinda, but I always wanted it. And the sweetest, most wonderful thing Melinda ever gave me was towards the end, when she was very, very sick.
And she came out of her coma.
And she was under medication, and she had just woken back up again. But I think that, pardon my language, but she was able to leave all the bullshit on the shelf. And it was nowhere around, and she said, well, give Angela the phone. And Alan, she didn't know that Alan already had her on speaker. But he handed me the phone, and I said, hi, Melinda. And she said, hi, Angela. And she said, I just want you to know that I love you. And I was floored. I had no clue what to say, so I was just completely speechless. And I looked at Alan like, and so I told Alana, that was probably the most special gift Melinda could have ever given me, was to tell me that she loved me.
And she went on for days and told me how much she loved you, Angela.
And I thought, you know what? She was able to set aside her fears, because I think that was what it was that kept us from being able to have that connection throughout, the last 20 years. And I always told Ellen, I will never come between you and your mom. If you need to go and see your mom, go. If you want to be there with her, go. I know that I can't always be there, and I don't want to be a source of anxiety in a situation, and certainly not when she was sicker towards the end. And I just said, go. You need to go and be there. And maybe she knew, maybe she didn't know, but whenever like her birthday would come around, or Valentine's Day was close, because her birthday was right there with Valentine's Day, I always got on the internet and I always sent her flowers, and I know that she would tell Ellen thank you, but I think she probably knew that those were for me, and because I always wanted her to know that I cared about her. But whenever I had that conversation with her and she told me that she loved me, I promised her that I would always be the best wife that I could be, and I know I'm not perfect, but I will always be there for you, honey. One of the other wonderful memories that I have of Melinda is actually not my memory. It's an indirect memory, but from the time that my kid was teeny tiny, we'd be in the car, and Alan would be singing at the top of his lungs The Colors of the Wind, all the songs from all the Disneys. But the first one, even before Alana was born, was when he knew word for word the words to my favorite movie ever, which is
Titanic?
No.
Failed. The perfect husband failed. Oh, The Sound of Music.
I certainly like some of these more Titanic.
And I wanted to listen to it, and this man
Was singing it.
all of the words with me, and he said, that was one of my mom's favorite movies, and we always sang that with the car when we were going on trips, and I thought, I love your mother, because she raised this wonderful man who was compassionate, who, despite his craziness, give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. And that's how Melinda was. I know that when she was befriending all of you and the young people in her lives, that she was always a very, very, very spiritual person. And it wasn't just one thing that she subscribed to. It was just spirit of the world. You know, it was various denominations, it was Christianity, it was Mother Earth, it was so many different things, but I realized she was such a spiritual person. And when we were dating, I remember her telling me that she was part Jewish, and I didn't think anything about it until we actually did our 23andMe and discovered that she actually was. And when Alan and I got married, and they asked us, when I was doing amniocentesis, do you have any Ashkenazi Jewish descent in you? And Alan said, no, I don't think so. And I said, no, I don't think so. I think we're good. And then we did this, and I discovered I actually do have it on my side, and he was like 17% on his side. So my kid is
Still am.
some from both ours. Like, thank goodness she came out good. But I knew that Melinda had all these different spiritual type practices within her, and you know, all the rituals that she would have and everything. I knew what a strong spiritual person she was. So my wish for Melinda, and I need a candle, is for Melinda, because I know she has set all of this stuff that got in the way sometimes of her just being able to be that pure energy that she was, is for her to go into the light, because I know that's where she was destined.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
Get that in there. Yeah, drop it.
So as my mom mentioned, we knew Melinda since I was very young. I think she was really good at helping children and seeing like what their strengths were and encouraging them to follow that. I think it became more complicated when you became more towards an adult, and it became more focused on her needs, and you know, she wasn't always good at listening to boundaries or not being manipulative. But you know, I think she had so many interesting stories that she would love to roll out, especially for new people. I remember going to Swanton a lot and having a good time there. And shop was also a really positive thing that I guess just Mariah and I were involved in. And Eileen, I mean, sorry, I don't know how to say that, but yeah, definitely. But okay. Yeah, it was a good way of giving back to the community and you know, learning what produce was in season at different times of year, and developing good relationships with the farmers and with our patients or
Clients.
clients. Yeah. But yeah, I guess my wish for her is that she has maybe at least another lifetime to kind of figure things out and
Hmm.
work through some of the ways that she made people's lives harder. And yeah, I think we definitely had a belief in reincarnation in common. And yeah.
Sweet. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. Yes, Linda?
Can I do a quick little addendum, because I forgot to say this, I really wanted to. For Mia's bat mitzvah, as well as for her exhibit downtown with her incredible photography, boy, did she knock herself out. She baked like crazy for days. We couldn't have done it without her. She was the main pillar. We rotated around her and she was at the center of it. Beautiful things happened at those
A nexus.
A nexus, yeah. I want to add that.
Thousands of scones.
Let's go!
Lemon bars.
Do we have one more, Alex?
And Jess.
Oh, sorry.
No, either.
Oh, Alana. We have 3 more.
I just want to say I'm very thankful for all the places that she took me to that I didn't even know existed. And all the food that we got to bake, like the brownies that we have to get like perfect. And then make more. And one of my favorite things that we ever did was go, like before the yard sales, we'd go get bagels. And then we would always read each other's horoscope. And then she would always like tell me like, okay, so what's going on in your life that you think this could relate to? And then there was always something that we'd always talk about if it was good or bad. And she would always like get you through it. And I'm just very thankful for her and all the things that she got me through. And without her, I don't know. I don't know who I would go to help for help. So I'm very thankful for her, and I just wish that she's not in pain anymore and she's just looking down on us. It's just always gonna be her.
Mm. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. And then there was 2.
Not really sure what to tell you. I think I might have missed the best parts. That's all right. She once prayed for my father's health when he wasn't all that well, and so that's something that matters. So there's going to be remembering. There will be some feelings, and those will be around for a while. And that's it.
Awesome. Do you have a wish, though? For the world, even?
Just that people will see difference and that'll be a good thing.
Okay. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
We need a candle for her. She needs a candle.
On top of the fridge right there.
Oh, here. She wants this one.
Okay, perfect.
I didn't know her as Melinda. I knew her as...
Who are you?
Oh. Alana?
The one and only granddaughter.
I knew her as Grandma Linda, but she didn't really like being called Linda. So I had to explain to her that it was Grand Melinda.
Oh, that's cute.
Aww.
And so, obviously I don't have that many memories because I didn't really get to know her until my dad started talking to her. But, my dad grew up in Santa Cruz, and He went to Merced, but
Can you forgive him?
I really, really fell in love with Santa Cruz, and I think that was because of her. She was like my tour guide, and all my favorite places are places that she's taken me to and told me about. And I definitely want to live here when I'm older, and I think that's because I feel like I'll always be here with her. And so, yeah, I wish that she is also up in heaven. And I wish that my dad has mostly good memories of her.
As you wish it, so shall it be. As you wish it, so shall it be.
As you wish it, so shall it be. So I just wanted to thank everybody, and I have one more thing to say, which, was it you that said she was in a dream? Somebody said she was in their dream. Okay, so she came to me kind of recently in a dream, and I was in a dream and the phone rang, and I pick it up and I was like, hello? And it was Melinda, and she's like, I just wanted to let you know that I really love you, and you were the best daughter in the world. And then she's like, and I gotta go, bye. I look over and there's Mariah, but she doesn't look like Mariah at all. She had like blonde hair, but it was Mariah. And I go, Mariah, oh my gosh, has she called you? And Mariah was like, yeah, actually, she has called me, but it was a really quick conversation because she only had a quarter. So she did come to me. So that was nice. And then I was like, all right, I always hear about these, like, do people come to you in your dreams? Have you seen a sign yet? And I didn't have one, but then, and you were in it. Yeah, it was brief, very brief, and to the point. So I know she loved every single one of us, and Alana, she loved you to pieces. She just was, like I said, she was very complicated. And so she had a hard relationship with people, but she talked about you, even during those 8 years, as if you were right there with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even when you were only 3 years old. Ever since. I remember when we'd go to your clothes room, she'd always be like setting aside certain things for certain people.
Yeah.
And I remember her breaking glass. So, yeah, I even heard about you.
I have a last thing that you made me think of. First of all, thank you so much for doing this. This is the most beautiful gathering I think I've ever, one of the top 3 in my whole life. Really. Wow. I'm so happy to be here. So all of a sudden I got some sense memories. First of all, I would inherit certain bracelets that were too small for her, no matter how gorgeous they are. Remember the one with the different coins and a piece of turquoise that I have it on my dresser. I think of her every day because it's right there. And she found 2 things that we felt, and it was her opinion, that Jay, my husband, and one of her best friends somehow had left at her house. So one of them is a big Hanukkah plate to put a menorah on. She never had it. She couldn't recognize it. It appeared. She said she knows that it belongs to us. We have to take it. And then there's an enormous rainbow glass. Is that what it's called? What's that glass called? Carnival glass, where it's like iridescent, but a huge fish. And Jay had aquariums everywhere. So she said the same day she found the big fish, which we have in our living room. We put fruit into it or whatever. She said, this doesn't belong to me. It came here by mistake. Okay? So that is another angle I forgot to mention.
Can I ask that we close it the way that Melinda closed all of her rituals?
Yeah, what was that?
Oh,
yeah.
We have to wash our hands afterwards.
Maybe before we
You can touch elbows. We can touch elbows.
Oh yeah,
touching elbows.
let's touch elbows. I can go like this.
Sorry.
Or let's go in. Can I unplug this? Should I unplug it?
Every ritual.
Okay. Okay, I'll be here.
May the circle be open, but unbroken.
Sorry, I just want to get all you
May the
guys.
circle be open, but unbroken. Or never broken.
And we're never broken. Nice.
I love the honesty of everyone. I just feel like she is so proud of us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really, that's what she would want. Even if it was hard, she would want.
Oh.
It's like the wind is like wind, ringing some wind chimes.
The sunset is beautiful.
Oh.
And you
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
the ability to be honest and open is just so amazing right now.
And you know what, that's what family is, what it should be. Be able to say anything, even when it's hard, or you don't know how to put it, or it's negative, or critical, you know.
And you guys
anything.
are our extended family.
Nice.
I'm so happy you were with
I
us.
know. The new generation.
Yeah.
You have a lot to teach her.
So far,
She's got a lot to teach us.
So far we have taught her about Peter Rabbit. Melinda said that it was her favorite stories and when she was a child. So I think it was last Christmas she gave me a little chapter book of Peter Rabbit and they love it. They love how mischievous.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us come and.
You guys, it wouldn't be, if you weren't here, like you were Melinda, so it wouldn't be a gathering without you. It would just be me and my brother sitting around being like, remember that crazy lady? And then we would forget all the like amazing, components of her.
Nice.
She was like 15 at one time.
What?
She wasn't 6 people, she was 15. Right, right. Yeah. How old were you, Mariah, when you met her?
I was like 11 or 12.
That age, I think that was the magic age.
That was the magic
age.
age. 10 or 11. Swipe them up and teach them something. Yeah. Totally. All right. So eat, drink, be merry.
Here, it's still recording. Okay. I don't know if you Thank you. Yeah, no problem. It was awesome.
I'm not gonna go.
I'm gonna do a quick photo.
Yeah, the bathrooms are much better.
Real stairs. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Please, everyone take a bookmark. Oh, I did want to have a bookmark. She gave me a cup.